morning, everyone. Another day, another mission. Today's podcast, the topic is AI and Existentialism. What does the rise of machine mean for humans' purpose? Today, throughout this podcast, I'll be discussing on various aspects related to this topic. Before that, I shall start by introducing what this podcast channel is about. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Turing Thoughts, where AI meets philosophy. This is a place where all experts and different kinds of people across different fields come over and speak on the fusion of AI x philosophy. Today, similarly, we have come up on an interesting topic. So, the rise of AI is raising some profound existential questions. What is the meaning of life if machines can do everything that we can do? And more, what is our purpose if machine can replace us in the workforce? And what happens to our sense of self if machine becomes more intelligent than us? These are just some of the existential challenges that we face as a result of AI. There is no easy answers, but it's important to start thinking about these questions now. If we don't, we may be unprepared for the future that AI is bringing us. One of the famous existentialists, Jean-Paul Sartre, argued that the meaning of life is something that we must create for ourselves. We are not born with a purpose, but we must choose our own purpose in life. This can be a daunting task, but it's also an opportunity. We have the freedom to create our own meaning. That is a powerful thing. From the dawn of existence of humanity, our purpose existed and survived through formulating lives for ourselves and the society that has always been in the highest effort to ensure the progress of quality of a man's life. The progress of quality of man's life, which I would like to stress upon, is the intelligence we have is not something of a static nature. We were not given it, but it is a result of continuous change by virtue of its existence. We must make sure to understand that the very cornerstone of one's existence lies in his ability to comprehend and sense the physical world with the very own focal point of his intelligence. So when we understand how the human has evolved, we come to the realization that all the possible hardships that came across the way is what shaped the human brain to what complexity it can imagine at this pace. But what happens is, today we have machines which have unimaginable computational power. Their time span, there was recently a machine which came out, a quantum computer which could do 47 years of work in 6 seconds. So we really have to question if this is how we define how our evolution took place, how intelligence was shaped. Because if 47 years of work is being done in a span of milliseconds, then it must be really alarming as to what could be the future of intelligence. Aren't we going to be left way behind where machines will reach? Let's say 30-40 years back today, those people would not be able to adapt to this today's scenario at ease. If you take back 300-400 years ago, the people will not be able to adapt this at ease. Maybe they could, but what it takes to adapt for 100-200 years is not of the same scale of what it will take to adapt if the intelligence surpasses thousands of years ahead. Not we will understand, nor we will be able to comprehend logically or even scientifically what is happening and what kind of matter does what. Maybe the dynamics of physics will change. Maybe all the laws which we think are today complex might be the primal laws which lead to tomorrow's future. All these things must be thought through, so we then realize that if we are not adapted to change to intelligence and look at intelligence in this way, and our evolution which shaped throughout hundreds and thousands of generations being passed down through our DNA and our DNA storing all of our information, what happens when we accelerate this process by not 10, 20, 100, but by 10 to the power of 6 to 10 to the power of 8 times? Are we digging our own grave? Or are we trying to open doors to things we don't understand yet? These are the kind of questions which come when we are trying to understand what this domain is trying to get. Well, we all would be aware of the Kardashev scale, which clearly formulated what are the types of civilizations. I'll give a quick brief on them. Kardashev first outlined his scale in a paper presented in 1964 Bjorkgren Conference, a scientific meeting that reviewed the Soviet radio astronomy. Well, he said there are 3 types of civilizations and 3 levels, basically, like how we have video games in which we have 3 different levels. Here, type 1 civilization is able to access all the energy available on the planet and store it for consumption. Hypothetically, they should also be able to control natural elements like earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. A type 2 civilization can directly consume the energy of a star, most likely through the use of a Dyson sphere. A type 3 civilization is able to capture all the energy emitted in its galaxy, including energy from any objects in that galaxy, such as every star, black holes, etc. So looking at this scale, humans hardly lie on the type 1. I would not say 50 to 60, but 30 to 40% in type 1 yet. And this was through advancements of thousands of years. So if you try to look at the positive side, if the goal of our civilization is to get higher on this scale is a hypothetical presentation of what civilizations could mean. Today we are restricted to a planet Earth. We have missions now looking forward for Mars, different kind of planets which are similar to Earth. But when we reach type 3 civilization, we can have inter-galaxy travels like we have intercity travels today. The ease of traveling from one planet to another, basically light years far, if it's as convenient as traveling from one city to another, we would have reached a type 3 civilization, which could be considered to be a milestone for a civilization to reach. But if you think about it, humans have been here for around more than 6 to 7 figures of years. And today we have reached 30 to 40% of type 1 civilization. If you try to think about it, we are able to harness things, but controlling our nature is seems very impossible at this point of time, because we cannot predict what's going to happen at the exact scale yet. Only predictions as well as minute assumptions is what we can do at today's stage. We can assume where the storm is going to come from, although we have this modern and complex scientific calculations out there in meteorological chambers. We have seismograms which predict if an earthquake is coming, but we don't exactly control them. And type 2 civilization, obviously we would be able to harness the actual power of the sun. Type 3, as I said, the entire galaxy would be your play hub. So if we look at AI at this stage, the concerns of us catching up to the machine's intelligence if it surpasses us, and what's our purpose and what's the milestone of intelligence going to be set, which we will not be able to understand since we will not be the most intelligent thing on the planet Earth. Well, AI could challenge our sense of purpose in a number of ways. For example, if machine becomes more intelligent than us, they may be able to create their own meaning. This could leave us feeling purposeless, as if our own lives are no longer meaningful. However, AI could also help us to find our purpose. For example, machine could help us to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, such as poverty, climate change. This could give us a sense of purpose, as if we are making a difference in the world. Ultimately, the meaning of life is up to each individual to decide. However, AI is raising some important existential questions that we need to start thinking about now. If we don't, we may be unprepared for the future the AI is bringing us. Well, in conclusion, I would like to say the rise of AI is a powerful force that is changing the world in many ways. It is important to start thinking about the existential challenges that AI possesses so that we can be prepared for the future. We need to decide what the meaning of life is for us, and we need to find ways to use AI to help us achieve our goals, and also have a ponder about what is gonna be tomorrow and are we prepared yet. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Anuj from Turing Thoughts, signing off.